The solution is obvious, First Speaker Volat announced with his characteristic smugness. We simply ban all human weapons. I nearly choked on my nutritional supplement. The Grand Council chamber fell silent as representatives considered his proposal, their expression membranes fluttering with relief. They actually thought this would work. My name is Kizara Knox, senior xenobiological researcher for the Unified Planets, and apparently the only being in the Council with a functioning brain stem. 4 6-orbital cycles. I had studied humans, those strange creatures from an unremarkable blue planet. But humans themselves were far from unremarkable. With respect, First Speaker, I said, rising from my cushion, banning their weapons won't make humans less dangerous. Second Speaker Jiren Pax flashed her contempt glance. The research division's input is appreciated but unnecessary. Our military strategists calculate that human integration hinges on disarmament. The motion passed. All human weapons were banned from Council space. As I delivered this news to Human Representative Marcus Jenner, his response chilled me. The Council has spoken, he said with that unnerving human smile. Besides, we humans are adaptable, very adaptable. 3 cycles later, I witnessed something that confirmed my worst fears. On Outpost Gamma 9, Krell pirates, imagine scorpion gorilla hybrids with plasma cutters, stormed the station. 5 heavily armed Krell cornered a group of unarmed human traders. What happened next shattered every assumption about human capabilities. The lead human, a female with dark hair, stepped forward with raised hands. The Krell leader lowered his weapon, mandibles clicking with amusement. Then she struck. Her hands grabbed his neural disruptor while her knee drove into his exoskeleton's weak point. In fluid motion, she flipped the massive alien, cracking his carapace against the deck. The other humans exploded into action, striking nerve clusters, using grappling techniques, targeting joint connections with surgical precision. In under 2 minutes, all 5 Krell were neutralized, 3 unconscious, 1 with a shattered limb, their leader gasping with collapsed breathing tubes. What weapons did you use? The security officer demanded. The human female flexed her fingers. They banned our weapons. They never said anything about our hands. The research. I retreated to my vessel, accessing human historical archives. The results were terrifying. 3,876 distinct unarmed combat systems, with an estimated 10,000 variations. Boxing, wrestling, judo, karate, kung fu, thousands of methods refined over millennia, specifically designed to defeat armed opponents. Humans possess unique physical advantages, exceptional endurance, dense muscle tissue, omnidirectional joints, extraordinary pain tolerance. But their psychological conditioning was more frightening. Mental training to overcome fear, function despite injury, and identify weaknesses instantly. Cross-referencing with Council species data revealed humans had advantages over 70% of our member races in close combat. We had to neutralize their weapons. We'd force them to rely on combat methods perfected for thousands of years. I presented my findings to the Grand Council, showing footage of human combat demonstrations. The response was predictably dismissive. This is theoretical nonsense, Military Coordinator Dren scoffed. No human could defeat a trained warrior. Perhaps a demonstration would convince you, I suggested. First Speaker Volad struck his resonance plate. This council will not be drawn into provocative displays. They approved a compromise. Humans would demonstrate their martial arts at the upcoming cultural exchange on Nexus Station. It was better than nothing. The demonstrations. At Nexus Station, 8 human specialists demonstrated their combat disciplines. Then came the sparring exhibitions. Human Victor Novak faced Drax War Chief Grator, nearly 3 meters of muscle and bone. The Drax charged. Novak slipped past massive arms, used the alien's momentum against him, and sent him crashing to the mat. When the humiliated Drax charged again, Novak applied a rear chokehold. The massive alien collapsed in 4 seconds. Similar scenes repeated throughout the demonstrations. Humans threw, struck, and subdued opponents from multiple species with controlled precision. They deliberately held back, yet dominated every match. What began as cultural entertainment became a sobering revelation. The atmosphere shifted as military representatives huddled in urgent discussions. Humans hadn't just developed ways to fight without weapons. They had mastered them to a degree that rendered many natural advantages obsolete. 2 cycles after Nexus Station, I received an encrypted message requesting a secret meeting. At Orbital Platform Zenith 12, I found Military Coordinator Dren, Trade Commissioner Vixes, and representatives from other species waiting. Humans represent a fundamental security risk, Dren declared, activating a holographic display showing human integration management protocols. The documents revealed systematic suppression, restricted colonization rights, mandatory registration of humans with martial arts training, chemical suppressants in human atmospheres, and population control contingencies. This is genocide, I said quietly. Species security, Dren corrected. We need your expertise on human vulnerabilities. They wanted me to help develop ways to neutralize humans permanently. I had 2 cycles to provide my assessment. I made my decision quickly. My loyalty was to scientific truth and ethical principles, not species prejudice. I would warn the humans. The warning. I arranged to meet Marcus Bailey at an abandoned atmospheric processing station on Terrace 4. Using a handwritten note passed through intermediaries, I shared everything. The secret protocols, the thinly veiled elimination plans, the timeline for implementation. Bailey examined the data crystal containing my evidence. Why risk everything to tell me this? Because it's wrong, I replied, and because it won't work. Humans won't submit. There will be resistance, war. Facility alarms suddenly blared. 6 shuttles descended, carrying at least 20 mixed-species forces with military-grade weapons. The meeting was a trap. They are not here to arrest us. I realized, seeing the weapons signatures. This is elimination. Bailey's expression hardened. You'd be surprised what humans can survive. In the maintenance tunnels beneath the facility, Bailey became a predator. Using my access to environmental controls, we separated the search teams. I disabled lighting, adjusted temperatures, and sealed doors while Bailey systematically eliminated opponents. The first victim, a Centauri, never saw Bailey coming. A precise nerve strike rendered him unconscious instantly. Bailey took his weapons and disappeared. Using the facility's systems as weapons, Bailey flooded corridors and triggered electrical malfunctions. He used water recycling to conduct shock charges, atmospheric coolant to blind attackers, and maintenance pipes for vertical movement. In each encounter, Bailey demonstrated combat principles I'd studied but never truly understood. Leverage over strength, momentum redirection, targeting vulnerabilities with surgical precision. He collected weapons not to use them, but to maintain the narrative of weapons ban compliance while turning the facility itself into his arsenal. 14 hostiles fell before the remaining 6 cornered us in the atmospheric processing core. Surrender, the lead Centauri demanded. This attack violates 7 interspecies treaties. There will be no record of this meeting, came the cold reply. Your species requires special management. Bailey smiled grimly. You have no idea. He threw a maintenance tool at the lighting panel, creating sparks and distraction. In that split second, he moved, redirecting weapons, using enemies as shields, striking nerve clusters and breathing apparatus. The shock rifle became a blunt instrument. Fallen bodies became tactical advantages. In 20 seconds, all 6 attackers were neutralized. Basic close-quarters combat, Bailey said casually, checking the unconscious enemies. Nothing special. The extraction team arrived, 8 humans in unmarked suits, none carrying visible weapons. The political fallout was immediate and severe. When evidence of the unauthorized containment protocol reached the full council, complete with security footage, the conspiracy collapsed. Admiral Helena Foster, Earth's highest-ranking military officer, addressed the emergency session. Earth's government has considered withdrawal and military response. Instead, we propose reconsideration of our fundamental relationship. First, rescind the weapons ban. It's proven ineffective and counterproductive. Second, establish a joint security council with equal representation. Third, create comprehensive cultural exchange programs focused on combat traditions of all species. Her words carried weight. We understand your fear. Our evolutionary path created beings without natural weapons, forcing us to develop alternatives. But that same path taught us cooperation. We don't want to dominate. We want to contribute as equals. The Council approved all proposals. The weapons ban was lifted, joint security established, and cultural exchange programs initiated. The new understanding. 1 cycle later, I stood in the observation dome of the Joint Species Training Facility, watching representatives from 17 Council species learning combat techniques under human instruction. The irony was profound. Capabilities once feared were now eagerly shared. Admiral Foster joined me at the viewport. Quite a change from Nexus Station. No more secrets, no more surprises. Below us, humans taught Centauri flexibility techniques, adapted Drac strength training, and helped Krell work within their exoskeleton limitations. Fear had transformed into curiosity and cooperation. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. Foster quoted. We applied the same principle. Don't just protect other species. Teach them to protect themselves. The philosophy extended beyond combat. Human medical techniques, emergency protocols, and crisis management were now shared throughout council space. The final vote on my comprehensive species capability database had passed unanimously, not to identify threats, but to recognize complementary abilities. When the Council banned our weapons, Foster reflected, they thought they were neutralizing a threat. Instead, they forced us to demonstrate what humans truly excel at: adaptation. The unintended consequences of fear-based policy, I agreed. They revealed your most formidable asset, not your hands, but your minds, your creativity, your ability to turn restrictions into advantages. Below us, training continued. Dozens of species learned from each other, finding common ground through shared knowledge. The facility hummed with progress. The Council had banned human weapons, forcing them to use their hands. In doing so, they revealed humanity's true strength, not their capacity for violence, but their capacity for adaptation, teaching, and turning adversaries into allies. They had tried to make humans less dangerous by removing their weapons. Instead, they made the entire galaxy more capable by forcing humans to share their most valuable resource, knowledge. In a universe of unknown threats, that knowledge might prove to be the most powerful weapon of all.